The child, a mere flicker of raw energy, pulsed with a light that defied comprehension. Tendrils of pure void, born from an eye vaster than any galaxy, coiled around the Kalan entity, squeezing, constricting. This Kalan-like being, a twisted mockery of the sacrifice, writhed, its alien eyes burning with a hatred that transcended even the architect's cold designs. The architect's hunger. Eternal. Kalan's echo, merely the first course. The words echoed, not with sound, but with a psychic resonance that shook the very foundations of existence. The child's form shimmered, a nascent vessel for the lineage's ancient power, mirroring the shard that had first pierced this forgotten sanctuary. But the ancient eye, its intervention was not a rescue, but a claiming. The void tendrils tightened, not to destroy the Kalan entity, but to absorb it, to draw its corrupted essence into the abyss. The Kalan entity shrieked, a sound that was both a cosmic scream and a dying gasp, its form dissolving into the encroaching darkness. The child, caught in the gravitational pull of these opposing forces, felt the lineage's power surge within. It was a raw, untamed energy, a torrent threatening to overwhelm the child's fragile form. The cosmic storm, momentarily quelled by the ancient eye's arrival, began to churn once more, its fury now directed inward, a tempest of nascent power and ancient rage. The watchers, their forms ethereal and ancient, recoiled. They had witnessed the birth of gods, the fall of empires, but never such a convergence of primal forces. This was not merely a war of souls as the architect had planned, this was a cosmic reckoning. The architect's shard, still embedded in the sanctuary's failing defenses, pulsed with a malevolent light, sensing the shift in power. It was no longer just a weapon, it was an anchor, a tether to the architect's will, desperately trying to reassert control. The child's innocent gaze, which had momentarily halted the storm, now blazed with an ancient wisdom. The lineage's power was not merely a weapon, it was a key, a means to unlock something far older, far more profound than the architect or even the ancient eye could comprehend. A whisper, carried on the cosmic winds, reached the child. A voice of pure light, faint but persistent, speaking of balance, of renewal, of a destiny that transcended even the architect's grand design. It was the architect's antithesis, a counterforce that had been waiting, dormant, for this very moment. The Kalan entity was gone, its essence absorbed by the void. The architect's plan, so meticulously crafted, was unraveling at an alarming pace. The shard pulsed erratically, its connection to the architect weakening with every surge of the child's power. The ancient eye, having claimed its prize, began to retract its tendrils. But as it withdrew, it left behind a chilling imprint, a void that mirrored the child's own nascent power. The child was no longer just a vessel, it was becoming a conduit, a bridge between realms. The storm raged, but it was no longer just a storm. It was the symphony of creation and destruction, played out in the heart of a single, transforming child. The lineage's power, once a forgotten echo, now roared, a primal force unleashed upon the cosmos. The whisper of light grew stronger, weaving its way through the chaos, offering guidance, a path away from destruction. But the void left by the ancient eye was a siren's call, a promise of ultimate power, of dominion. The child stood at the precipice, bathed in the dual glow of nascent lineage power and the lingering void. The architect's grand design had been shattered, but the true nature of the war, and the true power that now resided within the child, remained a terrifying enigma. The universe held its breath, waiting for the next move in a game far older than time itself. And then, a new symbol began to form in the pulsing light around the child, a symbol that was neither the lattice nor the architect's mark, but something entirely unknown, terrifyingly ancient, and infinitely powerful.